us to hear all about taxes in as much as it is. It's not going to be boring. I cannot stand to be boring. And so I'm gonna have a usual little joke about him and as a tax administrator. He's a married man. Any babies?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know that.
I have a 13-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son.
Oh,
So not small babies.
oh, okay, all right, all right. He done rocked and walked the floor at night already. So, we're on social media, all of the ones that it's picked up by Awesome Radio. This is the Awesome Radio Network, a spiritual station with a spiritual atmosphere and one that focuses on positive spiritual morals. We're happy to have him today. And what I want to know about him is what about school other than you didn't go anywhere other than ECU?
That's it. Got my bachelor's degree at ECU, and I've thought about going back, but it'll probably be ECU as well for a master's degree. I just haven't had time to do that.
Well, then this phone is still acting up. I don't know why I cannot work the phone. I push that button and I power off and then I power off and I'm gonna see if it'll do it right again because I don't want any interruption of this because taxes are important. What is a tax?
So a tax is so our office looks at the value of the property that we're appraising, be it real property, be it personal property, business personal property. We look at what that value is as of a set date. For real property, the county did their countywide reappraisal January 1st of 2024. So all real property is set, value is set as of that date. And all personal property is set as of January 1st of the year. So that could change yearly.
Okay. Now, so that no no one out there in our radio land is going to talk about us. We're going to look at this screen on here, so it'll look like we're looking at the people. And I might forget and look your way.
Alrighty. Because I've been doing it the whole time. I do apologize.
That's all right. I have to get used to it because I don't have media on, social media on all the time, and the engineer always be trying to cue me in to look at the people I'm supposed to be talking to. Taxes. Taxes are many forms, he said. He only deals with that tangible tax, I think. Is that right?
Correct. We don't do like your state refund tax. We don't deal with those or federal taxes that you pay to the federal government. It's what they call your ad valorem, your value tax for the property that you own.
Oh, so that's what avalorium is.
That's
The
correct.
the taxes, the stuff that I buy and I own it myself. Now, Pitt County is a very large landmass. How much of it do you assess?
I'm responsible for everything that's inside of Pitt County's borders. So anything that's inside of Pitt County, located inside of Pitt County, it's my responsibility to assign a value to that property, and then the based off of the tax rates that may be applied to it, that's how the tax bills are generated.
So now, those boats are not always in Pitt County.
That's correct. They may not be. They may have We do have some. The resident may live in Pitt County, but they have very large boats, and so they may keep them in like Carteret County or Beaufort County, to where they get out and they would pay. If they keep it at a marina or something like that, they will list it in possibly in that county and pay taxes in that particular county
Oh,
where it's
okay.
located at most times.
Jet skis can roll around. Some may keep it in other places.
Right, and that'd be the same thing.
Same thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Cars. The car broke down in the yard, doesn't run. How do you assess it?
They're still supposed to so if they don't have a tag on it, most times they won't have what we call a tag, right? The sticker that we get from the DMV every year. They're actually supposed to list that with our office as an unlicensed vehicle, and then they would probably pay a minimum like $500 value on it, just to say that they still own it. Even if it's not running, you're still supposed to list and pay taxes on it.
What?
Yes.
It ain't working. I can't use it. Oh
I know.
my lands.
Yeah.
And well, how do we, oh my goodness, how do you list that? I mean,
Mhm. So every January we send out listing forms, usually for what we call individual personal property, which are going to be like most vehicles, boats, jet skis. If it's your individual name, that's a green and white form that we mail out to you. You're supposed to review that form, make sure that everything that we have listed on that form, be it unlicensed vehicles, your manufactured home, is still there. You're supposed to sign and date and return that form to our office by January 31st.
what if I forget to list something
If you
and
forget,
you find out about it?
let me go back. And so that's the same thing for businesses. It'll come in there, but it's a little bit more detailed form because they have to list their various types of equipment because of the way those are valued. So if you forget the list, the county has a process that we call a discovery, where we discover the property at maybe later on that year, and you're assessed a 10% late list penalty or non list penalty for not listing the property with the county. And if it goes multiple years, it's 10% every year that passes, every listing period that passes.
How you know owned it all ever since it's been created? How you know I owned it? Somebody could have passed it down to me.
Correct. So we will do but we would look at like vehicles. We will see when was it titled to you. Um, if we can't determine that, the way the statute is written, we are to say it was there for 5 years, and then the citizen would have to prove that they only had it for maybe 2 or 3. Even if they had it for 15 years and they didn't pay taxes, it's essentially a 5 year look back on that.
Okay, thank you. I tell you, because you don't know, you can't remember. And when you're 99 years old, you don't know what you own
Hmm.
at that point. And so I'm glad that is there some way that the seniors, because when we go to the restaurant, we could say, I'm a senior citizen and get a discount. Is taxes like that?
Yes. So there could be, I should say. So if
Okay.
you're over 65,
Over 65.
um, or 100% disabled, permanently disabled is what they say.
Not all 65 years olds are disabled.
Correct. And so you could be 30 years old but considered permanently disabled.
Okay.
You could qualify, and if your income is under a certain level,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact number. It changes a little bit every year. I think it's around maybe 36 or $37,000, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all income that you receive. If
Mm-hmm.
it's under that amount, you can make an application for exemption on your taxes, and it would reduce the assessed value by 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the what you pay taxes on by 50%,
Mm-hmm.
or the greater of $25,000.
Tell me about your office. How many people you have in your staff? Because it's a lot of work for you as an individual. Now, how many people you have in your office?
I believe we are up to 36 or 37 people now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Where you located?
We are located.
Where's the public part? Or do everybody go into the same place?
So we're actually located in two different buildings.
Two different buildings.
Two different buildings. Evans 110 Evans Street is the address for the assessor's office.
Assessors.
Yes. If you come down Evans Street, we're right behind the
The
courthouse.
assessor's office is what I do in there.
So the assessor's office is where you list your taxes.
Okay. Okay.
That's the office that's responsible for valuing your property.
Mm-hmm.
We also maintain ownership records. So if anybody's familiar with the county's Opus website,
Mm-hmm.
the names for like the ownership names, the taxpayer names, the mailing addresses, and the parcel lines that you see, our office is responsible for that, maintaining that information.
So what's the address of that building?
That's 110 Evans Street.
110 Evans Street.
Hmm.
Okay. Now you have another building.
And then we have another building. It's right across the parking lot.
Okay.
But it's on 111 Washington Street. That's the collector's office. That's where you'll go in
Okay.
and pay your bills.
Okay. So I knew Pitt County is spread all over everywhere, and I don't think any single department Very few of them are in one building.
Mhm.
They are spread it out, and you just have to know what you have to do. And depending on what you have to do, if it's taxes, they are conveniently located right across the parking lot. And it's not a big parking lot. It's just a little two-car length parking lot that you could just walk from one place to another. So if you plan your trip, you can go just to the parking lot. Nobody accept cash anymore. Is that right?
We still accept cash in the office.
That's
Check it.
the other office. That one is 110
That is the 111, the collector's office.
collector's office.
Yes.
Okay.
So we do in the office. You can pay with cash, check, money order. There's no charge for that. They do take debit cards in the office now.
Oh,
However, our vendor does charge a 2.5. I think it's 2.5% convenience fee. So it'll be a little bit more just for that convenience fee.
okay. So you want to get you, if you don't want to pay 2.5% more for your taxes, you get a money order, a debit card, or a check.
Not a debit card. They're gonna charge for the debit
They're
card.
gonna charge for the debit
Yeah,
card.
there's an extra fee
Money order, a check,
or cash.
or cash.
Hmm.
Cash does work at the tax office. Okay. Anything else, you be ready. Um, if we don't have forms and stuff, you'll give them out, won't you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. Now we're talking with uh, Mr. Russell Hill. He is the tax administrator. You see it right on your screen there for the Pitt County government. Anything in Pitt County, and I don't see any land floating in the air anywhere, so it has to be somewhere down here on Earth. And it can't be in Mars. So he will be able to answer your questions. He has about 30 people and to help you and assist him with the job that he's tasked with doing for the Pitt County government. As a tax administrator, that means that he is the head of the tax office. And we're happy to have you come from Jones County out of ECU, right over across the town over here with Pitt County government. I think we have some of the best staff and personnel in the country because I've not met one yet that has been um, harsh. I won't say ugly. I think ugly is a good word. It won't be ugly. They're always polite and kind. And I thank you. So whatever the administrators or the department heads do for that, I'm pleased with that because it gets me excited when they talk to me like they don't have sense. And when I refer people, I have that same attitude when they go to someone in in the Pitt County government. If when you look at them and speak with them without the chew tobacco and all that other stuff, and they can understand you, I think you can get along fine with any staff that we have, or any of them. And they're all polite. Now taxes, we're talking about taxes right here in Pitt County government. If you own anything in another part of the county, a county, they are similar, but you have to deal with the other county for that property that you own and is over there. That's what he said. What else can you tell me? Anything else um, we need to know about you? Uh, he's married, two children, and they in school right here in Pitt County. Uh, he lives right here in Pitt County. I think all of our staff live in, especially department heads, right?
I think a lot of them do, if not all of them. A lot do.
For the most part. I don't think there is a requirement, but I know that we have a requirement as a Pitt County Board of Commissioners. We have to live here in Pitt County. Not only that, we have to live in the area for which we represent. Um, so we're talking with the Pitt County tax assessors on Awesome Radio, WECU, 1570 AM on the FM dial, and 107.5 on the FM dial, and 1570 on the AM dial. I'm getting it right tomorrow. I'm half asleep. Seems like the sleeping is good in the wintertime, better than it is in the summertime. We have 1 minute to go. And anything else you want to say about who you are?
I think
Do
that's.
you have an assistant? How many assistants do you have?
I've got two assistant administrators, one in the collection office and one in the assessor's office.
All right, that's good. So I like to know those little bitty things, and they are good. Um, Here we are a few seconds to go before we are in the first half, the first portion of, and when we come back, there is a calendar that the tax office have, and I've asked Mr. Hill to please share that with our listening audience. So if you are on the radio listening, call your friends. The number to call when we come back to the second half, which is after this calendar side, the number to call is 252 756
Hi, my name is
2008.
Tracy. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU.
There will be an AI training academy for church media, photography, and video graphics. The AI Academy is free and is designed for all ages, from a child to our ever learning seniors. And for your convenience, the AI Training Academy will be hybrid, in person and virtual. You get to choose, or you can flip flop. For more information and to sign up for this wonderful free AI Training Academy, ask for Stephanie. 252-364-5760. That's 252-364-5760.
It's time to power up your day with a 1-minute focal point from Pastor Mike Fabarez.
Well, we certainly live in a culture of excuses. I mean, we blame, we avoid responsibility. That's the norm. Yet excuse making, we've got to realize nothing new. I mean, it started back there in Genesis chapter 3. Adam and Eve made excuses right there in the wake of their first transgressions. Problem for them, it's a problem for us. And the real problem is it doesn't work with God. Romans tells us that our acts of rebellion, they are all without excuse. Surprisingly, that can be super helpful for us just to realize that we are to accept the responsibility and just be honest. Few things please God more than that. People who humbly accept responsibility for their actions. So, next time you fail, next time you stumble, next time you sin, let us respond with sincere contrition instead of excuses.
There's more Bible teaching from Pastor Mike Fabarez available on Focal Point, weekdays on your station, or go online to focalpointradio.org.
Hello, my name is Hayden. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU.
Good morning. We are here. This is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show, and today we are talking about Pitt County taxes. And I have as a guest is Mr. Russell Hill, the Pitt County tax administrators. And in this few minutes, we're talking about the tax calendar. So, Mr. Hill, will you approach that and maybe give an understanding to our listening audience? And let's not talk too fast so that the seniors will know. This is the part that we all need to find out. And the young folks just don't know because they are busy working and everything else. So here we go.
All right. So we always start in the tax office. All your values that I was speaking of earlier is set as of January 1st of the year. So just a little over a month from now, we'll look at all the property that's in Pitt County on January 1st. So we will probably around the first week of January, everyone will get those listing forms in the mail that we talked about earlier. We mail about, I think it's around 5,500 business personal property listing forms, and right around 13,000 13,000 individual listing forms as well. Those forms are due back in our office by January 31st. This year, because of I believe the 31st is Saturday, the general statutes which guides our office says that citizens will have until February, I believe it's the 2nd, that Monday, to turn that form in without a penalty.
All right.
And then all real property values are set. So if someone's building a
What's
house,
a real property?
so real property, that's going to be the building, like you said, the land and the buildings and all the structures that's associated on the parcels. If someone's building a house, um, maybe it's under construction, on January 1st, we'll take a snapshot of how far along that construction is, what percentage it is, and then we'll tax them on that percentage of that property.
I know you all see him looking in the sky. That's you know what he's looking at? He's looking at his brains to bring it down to his mouth. That's my joke for today. He's looking at his brain in his head to bring it down to his mouth so his mouth can say it right. Because this show is live on Awesome Radio. And I like to have a good time. Okay, now what the calendar? We still on the calendar.
Still on the calendar. So the month of January is a very, very busy month in the assessor's office. They're gathering all that information, all those values for the upcoming year. On the collection office side, the tax bills that we mailed out July of this year, they go past due, I believe it's January 5th this year. So what that means is anybody who hadn't paid their tax bill by January 6th, I believe it is, they're going to have, it's going to go what they call, we consider past due, and it's going to have 2% interest added on top of whatever their amount was. And any month after that, it goes past due, there's another 0.75% of interest added on top of that. That's also during the time where the collection office will start their what we call enforced collections as well for the bills that have not been paid.
Now, you said beginning January 6th, the state says that you're to charge 2.5%,
2%
2% past due. Of
Past due.
what? Of what amount?
of the amount that was due. So if you just so
That,
if you owed
that
100,
letter you sent out in July?
yes. So whatever that balance is 2% of that balance.
Okay. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Taxes never go away.
No, they never go away.
All right. Now, we talked about that.
hmm
There is another date that I want you to mention for our folks because it comes out and if it keep on growing, you're going to take up all of the daily reflector, which is smaller now than it used to be. So you're going to take up over half of that paper.
Yes.
What date is that?
I don't think we've got that date set exactly yet, but I believe mid-February usually is the time that you have to have the taxes paid by before you're advertised in the Daily Reflector, like you said, with the very big ad and the very small print. I have to get a magnifying glass to even read it myself. That is, like you said, that is a very large ad.
Now you heard him, seniors. It's very small print, so if you can't read it, you better find that grandchild that knows how to work your phone. He says it's gonna be a large ad with small print.
Yeah.
That's the overdue.
That's
You're
right.
gonna tell the world that we overdue on taxes.
Yes, that's correct.
Now does it keep on adding up?
Yeah, so every month that there's a balance remaining, there's a 0.75%, so a little less than 1% added on that balance. You don't pay what they call compounded interest. It's whatever that initial balance is.
Keep on.
And so that's kind of the collection office. And so in the assessor's office, like I said, January is their listing time. It ends on January 31st. And from February through probably May, we're working to get all the values and everything kind of set so that we can give the commissioners and the cities and the municipalities their value estimates so they can work on their budgeting peak component.
Now, we have had questions when the taxes came out as to if my house, half of it is in city property. How you know that? And the other half is in county property. How you know that? And then How you know which half is it? Doesn't matter, does it?
It really does. You'll pay if you're inside the municipality. You'll pay that portion inside the municipality's limit, and then if it's just in the county, it would have the county and then those tax rates associated, which usually was the fire district and EMS, I think, and is associated
Who
with
will
that.
assess those various taxes?
So I am so the I do the county. Like you mean the tax rates or the
For the EMS,
So they all use our value. They all use the assessor's office value, and then they look at their budgetary needs to help kind of determine what rate they need. So
okay,
everybody uses. So the EMS, if they're when they're setting that rate, when they're setting the fire district rates, when the municipalities are setting their tax rates, they're all using that one value that the assessor's office has set.
okay. This is why we have been talking about uh, the fire tax and the trucks and all of that. This is what they need now. This segment is going to go out, but it's very important. So, uh, insurance is set on your property as it relates to where fire is located. Now, we have about a minute, a little more than a minute to talk about that. If there's anything else as it relates to um, insurance and taxes, we would like to hear from Mr. Hill if he has any knowledge on that, or you can tell the citizens of Pitt County where to get that best knowledge for that particular insurance rate, because your insurance, I think, is paid on your home or on your real estate property based on if there is a structure on it. Um, the value of that as it relates to something else. Am I hitting it round in a roundabout way?
I'm not real sure on how the insurance rates determine
Who
in the
does
fire
those?
district. I think each insurance company may do it, and I think they look at, from my understanding, they look at
They
some
go
of
out to the house.
they go out to the houses and they look at, like you said, there's various things that are there that play into how what type of rate they
Okay.
pay.
When we come back, we're going to finish this portion, and we'll be talking about the taxes in Pitt County. Those kinds of places that pays tax. There's more on just property taxes, business taxes, and all this. He's going to talk about the various taxes because there are a lot of people don't think they should pay. This is Awesome Radio on the Mary Perkins-Williams Show. Thank you for listening, and we'll hear from you on the other side.
I'm Miriam Neff with New Beginnings. Is your day overbooked, your budget overextended, and your patience exhausted? Overwhelmed. This is normal. Life is real, and God has a solution. Pray first. I ask Him to prioritize. Dear Lord, I know I cannot do it all, or purchase what seems desirable. Show me. The prayer He always answers is, Thy will be done. Start there. He is faithful to show you just the next thing. I want the whole picture. Why doesn't He show me the whole thing? His will includes that my faith grow. Trust when I do not see. Act on the one thing He asks. Peace follows. Do the next thing. Put your foot in the water. He sees your obedience and acts. He has solutions we could not have imagined. Start with prayer.
This feature at widowconnection.com.
I am Miss Mary Cox. I'm Killer Pickpen's mother from Awesome Radio.
Good morning. Welcome back. This is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show. And Mary Perkins-Williams just happened to be a county commissioner. In District 2, I live. And we have with us today Mr. Russell Hill, Pitt County Tax Administrators. And I've asked him while we were on the break, and the station is recognizing itself to talk about businesses. Who's the business? Name the business, taxes that you should pay, and whether or not you don't pay. Let's go.
All right. So, and for county purposes, if you're making income, you're a business and you're supposed to list and pay taxes for any assets or anything you're using in conjunction with that business.
Now, while you're thinking in your head,
Yeah.
I'm going to repeat that. If you are doing anything, any activities, and you make money for what you're doing, that is considered a business. All right.
Yep. So that'd be, so if you are cutting grass, the lawnmower you're using, the weed eater you're using, you're supposed to list those things. The utility trailers, you're supposed to list those things with our office and pay taxes on them. That goes up to the large, whatever the largest business that we have in the county is. They're supposed to list, but that is a universal tax you pay on the property that you own while you're in that business. If you're using it for your own personal, and that's the only thing you're using it for, your personal use, it's exempt from having to list it.
Did you hear that? Now, if you use that lawnmower and that trailer and all that stuff is just for your personal use, and you're not making money on what you use it for, then that is non-taxable. You don't have to list that. All right, let's go.
All right. And so that's every business. And then so you asked about exemptions earlier. The state does recognize certain types of businesses, such as schools, religious religious organizations and things like that. They do recognize those, and then you can get an exemption that would essentially say you're exempted from paying taxes, but not exempted from listing those with our office. You still have a responsibility to list those taxes, but you may not. But the state may grant some type of exemption under there.
That's non-profit, for-profit, the LLCs, and not-for-profit.
Correct. Yeah. So everybody's
Did
supposed
I
to
miss
list.
one?
I think that's it.
Okay.
So
all right.
even the nonprofits should be listing, and then if they qualify for an exemption, then an exemption would be applied to their account as long as they qualify, which would then have a zero tax bill.
So the state tattling on people? They send it down to you, or is it that you pick up my trash and I pay you 10 cents for it, and are you tattling on the facts that do I tattle on you because you got a tax business because I paid you 10 cents?
So so a lot of it is going to be self-reported. Now we do part of our so we are relying on
The honor system. Honor system.
honor system.
Okay.
However, we do go out and try to make sure that all businesses, big or small, are listing their property taxes. So we do what we call compliance audits, trying to make sure that individuals are out there if they are running a business, and we do try to work with them and explain to them what their process is. And I will say a lot of our citizens in Pitt County, once we explain it to them, they've been in business many years, never knew it, and then they go ahead and we'll kind of work through them with that process.
All right. I tell you, nothing is ever free in this country. We are a commercialized company in the United States. The whole kick and caboodle is commercialized. Small businesses, big businesses, dynamic companies, all are taxed. LLC, ABC, UMP, and every other kind of alphabet. Am I right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now let's talk about how businesses have to list. They list at I just started this year a business. I pick up the phone and I says, I haven't started my business. I didn't start my business until April.
Okay.
So how do you know what my tax is?
So what we'll do is the staff will work with you in asking you kind of like what items, what we call assets. What assets did you have in the business name? So is it, Usually, most businesses are going to have some type of computer. If you've got a location somewhere, you're going to have some type of furniture, fixtures, which is going to be your chairs, desk, and things like that.
What
If,
about internet? What about internet?
well, you don't.
That computer stuff can kill you.
Well, it depends. It could be yes. If you're leasing the equipment from someone, the person that you're leasing it from should be listing it. But if you went out and you bought it and it's yours, then you're supposed to list that as part of. And if you got a point of sale, like the debit card machines and various things, you're supposed to list those.
What about internet services like what's the name of that? Brightspeed and Optimum and Turtle Speed and anything.
So you don't have to list that service, but you would list.
Is it taxable?
Are they taxable?
Yeah, because
Yes, they pay
every
taxes.
business pay taxes.
Yes.
I mean, pay for those internet services.
So yes, the companies themselves they do pay taxes, but the actual service you don't have to pay for because they're paying that. But you would just use. But if you if you go like to your local store and you buy the routers and the cables and the things to hook it up, to get it connected to your computer, you were responsible for the stuff that goes to the computer.
I was thinking since I have to have a router, I have to have a computer, and I have to pay that service because the service it really shouldn't fluctuate as into how much because it never changes. You're doing the same thing all the time. It's repetitious. So, but yet what they charge fluctuates because I've gone in and I tell you I've created a scenario in the office about when I came to you, my service was supposed to be 25 cents a month. And now here it is $1. And then yesterday it was 50 cents. Now here it is $2. So why is it that I can't can I put that service on my tax?
Not that
For the business.
not the service, no. But you would do your but like I said, you would do the router. Well, if you're leasing the router from them, they're paying taxes on that router themselves. But the actual service and the amount you pay, that's a transaction outside of our office.
Now let me give you another scenario. If you are a 501c3 and you've been operating for some years and may not be listed with the city or county taxes, will that 501c3 have to pay back taxes?
So what our discovery process does is if we discover that someone either didn't pay taxes.
Because everybody think a 501 is non-taxable.
Right. So what we would do
C3.
is 501(c). So what we would do is we will open up that window because we will do a 5-year look back and then assess a value for those 5 years. But if the entity or the taxpayer also qualifies for some type of exemption, they can also get that exemption through our board of E&R. They can also apply for that exemption that would have exempted those as well. So it's one of those ones that would.
Do you return the fact that I paid taxes and I shouldn't have paid?
No. No. So unfortunately, that it doesn't work that way. The state gives us guidelines. The Machinery Act is the part that covers ad valorem taxes.
Did you say Machinery Act?
The Machinery Act is
I
what they
didn't know
call it.
nothing about a Machinery Act.
I understand that, but that there's a statute that only gives 3 reasons to give a refund back. That is a illegal tax, a tax for an illegal purpose, which is essentially the same thing, or some type of clerical error by the tax office. If someone qualified for an exemption, but they did not apply for that exemption, then it's not refundable. We can put it going forward. And it doesn't help anything in the prior years, but it could, unless it's a discovery process.
So here is what I want to say to you. If you, the taxpayer out there in radio land, if you have a 501c3 and you're not quite sure, you pick up the phone and call the tax office. And what's the number?
The number, call for the tax assessor's office, I will call area code 252-902-3400.
I want you to repeat that a little slower.
All right. That's area code 252-902-3400. And then you'll ask for our business personal property department. And then they'll be more than happy to kind of walk you through that process. They deal with it every day. Those are my experts. A lot of times I may have to refer to them and kind of ask them a question, but those are the ones that will kind of walk you through what that process would
so
be.
if you don't know and you got a small business or some business of type with 501c3 and you don't know, you call 252-902-3400 and ask for
The business
the business
personal property section.
business personal property section.
That's correct.
So you don't have to explain to the person that answers the phone because they don't know what you're calling about. So if you call and dial that number and you ask for the business personal property tax, you will get to the right place and you don't have to go over it 2 or 3 times trying to get to the right person that can answer your inquiry. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, any other number that can help out people like me who don't know and don't work it every day?
All right. So the phone number for our collection office, if you got just a question about tax bill, is going to be area code 252-902-3425.
And that's for what?
And that's for the collection office.
Now, farmers.
Okay.
Farmers are exempted because we need to eat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they get what they call in the General Assembly call it, or the Machinery Act is called the Present Use Program. Once again, it's not an automatic exemption. They could apply if they're farming their land. They can apply for an exemption and pay a reduced amount on their the land portion. Their equipment and things they still pay taxes on that they use to harvest and plant, but they still pay
And
taxes.
and it's a benefit to list every piece of equipment you have for that, because you can't collect that product from the farm unless you have that equipment, because they don't be out in the field breaking tobacco like they used to. Now they have a tractor, they have a machine with gobs of folks doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what information will they need to provide or have on hand when they call the business personal property section?
Okay, so what they do is they use their So what they do is they look at the cost that you paid for those items that you're supposed to list, and then what year did you acquire those things. So if, like you said in your example, if you bought everything April of this year, on the listing form you would say you acquired this equipment, and they kind of got it broken down into various sections like machinery and equipment. You may not have anything that fit there. It may just be point of sale equipment, maybe furniture and fixtures, and you put what you originally paid for that. If you don't know, like a lot of times if someone's been in business and they purchased it 10 years ago, they may not know. We do use your best estimate of what it would have cost you brand new to purchase that
Now, the
asset.
farmer should call what number? 252-902.
3400.
All right. So that's a business. A farm is a business.
That's a business,
Now,
correct?
if I only use my farm to grow vegetables, that's a business.
Mhm.
If I use my farm, it, which is in my yard, and it's not even an acre, but it's a nice little piece of land for me to grow some collards and cabbage and stuff like that, and I eat it. I might share it with my neighbors. That's not a business.
That's not a business.
Thank you. I just want to get that clear because you can't plant the exact amount you need to eat.
Right.
You got to plant more so you can share it with your neighbor and they won't come and cut all your cabbages down. See, that's my next joke. Now, if you have a question, please call today. We have the tax administrator sitting right here in Awesome Radio 2826 South Memorial Drive in person. He is here in living person, and you can ask your question. 252-756-2008. Now, I know that when we did talk about tax payment way back and whatever, we don't have an exact date that it's going to come out in the newspaper. So we are suggesting that you go ahead on and get your taxes in now, so you will miss that percentages because they haven't figured out when they're going to put it in the newspaper. Tell everybody it's your business. And then you're not quite sure that what part, how much land. If my house is on the city and county, but there's only a sliver of it in the city, then I would like to have a conversation with Mr. Hill to say that none of the houses in the city, but there's a little sliver of yard about as wide as my car that's in the city, but the rest of it is in the county. Can I discuss not having a city tax? Who do I discuss that with?
So probably the very first thing is to kind of make sure, is that accurate? Like a lot of people will look at our Opus website and they'll be like, well, this line says this. Those lines are representations of, like, it's not a true line. It's not the exact line. It's not the exact city limit line. So what I would first do, my first question would make sure is that we actually, a sliver of your property is actually inside the city limits.
So who you go to? You all or the city?
We will research it, and if we say, yeah, it does look like a part of it is there, and you dispute that, then you may have to try to find we should be able to hopefully give you the ordinance that the city did to annex that parcel, that portion of your land into the city.
So you have a justifiable reason to discuss it. And I didn't say go down and fuss and yell and beat the band, slap the table. Go down and discuss it with the tax office, and you go to the collector. Oh my goodness, we almost out. And discuss what you need. The tax office, we're very grateful that Mr. Hill has taken time away from his desk today. He is the Pitt County Tax Administrator, and he has 30 in his staff. If he's busy, he can have someone to help you out, and we are happy to have you there. So this is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show on Awesome Radio, 1570 on the AM dial, 107.5. We will see you next Wednesday. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Daniel out of Greenville. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio 107.5 FM